In this tutorial, we are going to be covering arrays in JavaScript. So let's dive in. So arrays are basically used to store multiple values in one variable. So let us understand it with an example. So let's say we want to store the score of 3 subjects: physics, chemistry, and maths. So without an array, what we have to do is we have to create 3 different variables to store 3 different scores. But with an array, what we can do is we can store the scores for these 3 different subjects in one variable itself. So let's see how to do that. So I will create a variable scores, and after that, the first way to create an array in JavaScript is to use these square brackets. And in these square brackets, you will put your values. Let's say the score for physics is 65, the score for chemistry is 55, and the score for maths is 85. And now this is the first way you can create an array in JavaScript. And let us see the second way. There's actually 2 ways in JavaScript you can create an array. So I will again make the variable, and after that, the second way to create an array in JavaScript is to use the array constructor. So you can do new array, round brackets, and after that semicolon. And in these round brackets, you can add your values. But we are not going to be using this way that much because it is a little bit trickier than this one, and it is also not necessary. So simply we are going to be sticking with this method. Now the values inside an array are called elements, and elements are comma separated, and you can see that in this array. And now let's log this array to the console and let's see what's the output. There we go, we are printing the array, the scores array. And now let's see how to get a specific element from an array. So for that, we have to give the index of the element which you want to get from the array. So the index of the element is basically the position of the element in that array. So the index starts with 0. So the first element would be at index 0, the second element would be at index 1, and the third element would be at index 2. And we will add 1 to the index if we move forward 2 elements. So if I do scores 0, we will do scores square brackets and then 0, we will get 65 because 65 is at index 0. And if I do 2, we will get 85 because it is at index 2. And now if I do 5, you can see we are getting undefined because it is really straightforward. There is nothing defined at the 5th index in the array. So yeah, that is pretty simple. And now let's see how to change in particular element in an array. So again, you can do that using the index of the element which you want to change. So if I do scores, square brackets, and after that the index of the element which I want to change, and after that the value. So now the first element in the array, or the element at 0th index, would be replaced by 45. So 65 would be replaced by 45. So if we print the array, you can see 65 is replaced by 45. So this is how you can change an element, change in particular element in an array. Now let's see how to add an element to an array. So we can use a couple of methods for that. So the first method we can use to add an element to an array is to use the push method. So whatever value you give to this push method, it would add it at the end of the array. So here you can see 88 is added at the end of the array. But if you want to add the value at the beginning of the array, you can use the unshift method. So if we do scores.unshift 88, you can see 88 is added at the beginning of the array. And now let's see how to remove an element from an array. So for that, we also have 2 methods. So the first method is the pop method. It will simply remove the last element in the array. And you can see 85 is removed. And there's one more method. So we have the shift method. So the shift method would remove an element from the beginning of the array. So this is how it's work. So you can see 65 is removed because it is at the beginning of the array. And now I'm going to be showing you a bonus method. So it's called sort. So the sort method is used to sort your array in ascending order. And now our array is already sorted, so I will change it. And here you can see our array is in descending order, or it is not sorted. And if we do scores.sort, here you can see it is sorted in the ascending order. So that is pretty much it for this tutorial, and if you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe for more tutorials like this, probably for the next JavaScript tutorial. And you can also leave your suggestions in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, see ya.